Minister.
I thank both members for their questions. On Mr. Zul's question on less savvy tenants and how can they navigate the framework more easily, we have considered the experience from last year and put in place some measures. Some tenants are not conversant in English. They found the framework difficult to understand. So, we made the processes as simple as possible. And also the various resources to explain the scheme, including infographics, these will be translated into other languages. And we'll also work with partner agencies and industry associations to ensure that these resources are disseminated quite widely. And webinars will be organized to explain the scheme to stakeholders and address queries. On Mr. Zul's, the other question about making it mandatory for party making the application to inform all parties along the PTO chain. The determination may affect the rental waiver to be enjoyed by all, and so it should be, the determination should be binding on all, because people can be affected. Then turning to the points made by the member, Mr. Dennis Tan, on the first point about tenants who may not be keeping detailed accounts, I think the starting point is the tenants have to show that their income has gone down, business has gone down from that specific premise, right? I think we can all agree on that. The question is how. Now, we accept that some tenants may not have kept detailed accounts, may not be able to show it in the way that the normal profit and loss accounts are kept. The law allows, and this is not the first piece of legislation, previous COVID legislation, we have allowed them to swear a statutory declaration that their business has gone down by the required amount and attach whatever evidence they have. Of course, even if it's not a P&L account, what they have must be helpful to come to that conclusion. Otherwise, the question is, how did they know? So if they have other material, something to show that their business has come down and that is probative, that will be accepted. It doesn't have to be a properly drawn up P&L account in the way accountants will understand. But of course, making a statutory declaration is a serious matter, but we provided for it last year, and some people did do it. Now, if the landlord refuses to accept that, then it's a matter between landlord and tenant, and it can then go for assessment too. Now, the final question is a much broader one from Mr. Dennis. It's that, he sees the market moving, consolidation by select retailers. I assume by that he means the more successful, perhaps the more high-profile retailers, and they are causing the rentals to go up, and that's affecting SMEs. This is not a situation that arises only during COVID. I mean, the more successful ones are prepared to pay the rental, and that impacts on other retailers who may not be as successful and who are then squeezed out from, say, prime locations. And sometimes it's a cycle. If you're not in the prime location, then your business doesn't go up. But those, I sympathize with it, but those are quite outside the framework of this particular piece of legislation. And that relates to really how you structure the market and what sort of approach we want to the economic structure. Does the government or government agencies intervene to tell landlords what they can charge, what sort of tenants they can have, or they must have a certain mix of tenants, whether we can or ought to do it, and how do we make sure that SMEs have a decent stake in the business, because that's in everybody's interest. How do you get to that? I think is something that I'm sure MTI and to some extent MOF will have considerably more interest than MINLAW have. Thank you.
Question is that the bill be now read a second time. As many as of the opinion say aye. The contrary say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.
The COVID Temporary Measures Amendment Number 4 Bill.
Committee stage, what day?
Now, sir, I beg to move that Parliament will immediately resolve itself into a committee on the bill.
The question is that Parliament will immediately resolve itself into a committee on the bill. As many as of the opinion say aye. To the contrary say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is that clauses 1 to 4 stand part of the bill. As many as of that opinion say aye. To the contrary say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Bill to be reported. Minister for Law.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to report that the bill has been considered in committee and agreed to without amendment.
Third reading, what day?
Now, sir, I beg to move that the bill be now read a third time.
The question is that the bill be now read a third time. As many as of the opinion say aye. To the contrary say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.
The COVID-19 Temporary Measures Amendment Number 4 Bill.